Okay, hello anyone that's viewing this video. In this particular video, I'm doing something different. So something that's been on my mind would be the kind of lack of a process flow, which is what we are going to do today in marketing. So if you're like me, you read a lot, you watch a lot of videos, tutorials, courses, etc., and you kind of you roughly know what you have to do, but don't, you do it in a very haphazard way because you start with A, then you do B, but no, sorry, you're supposed to start with A and then do B, but then sometimes you start with D and then you do F and then you start doing B and then you do A, etc. So we don't follow a process, which I feel that's where most marketers, in fact, I think most people will have problems in. There is no process, or there's no fixed process. So what I want to do, not just today, but even in the future as well, is just map out some potential process flows that you might be able to use in marketing for yourself, as well as for to give other people. So I'm on Canva right now. This is just to help me with creating the process flow. So if you want to use this for yourself, by all means go ahead. All I did was basically create an asset palette for the first page, then the second page is empty, so I can create the asset palette. So can't really see because my camera is blocking the tab, but I was googling around for marketing process flowcharts. So what I came across were, let's just start with the first, I don't know, 6. So when this is the first result, by the way, in images for marketing process flowchart. So first thing I notice is like customer submits PO, rep logs PO, enter order. Is like, this seems to me like this is not specifically for marketing. This might be a process flow for a sales agent within a marketing agency. So this is incredibly not relevant to anyone that wants to try and run a marketing process flow for themselves. This is just really useless because it's one straight line instead of like diverging and all that. Of course, how do I say it? We're going to try and make a more robust kind of process flow, but yeah, hopefully ours doesn't look as linear as this because, I mean, come on, begin with a summary, explain your segmentation, explain market needs, growth and trends, finish. It's like, really, that's it? Now, this one kind of is more interesting. In fact, let's try and open it up, open the image in a new tab, just to have a better view. So this is also not really for marketing, this particularly for content creation for SEO stuff. So you can see like it's divided into different segments. Probably we want to try to do something like this. Hopefully we can do something like this, but maybe not today. So you can see it has a start. First, you need to do keyword research. This is Shalyn's only job. Then it goes to Amanda. Her job is to do topic research and write the article, and or outsource the writing and puts into the draft. Then Nishadha will be the reviewer. She'll review the article and say, is it good, is it bad? If it's not good enough, then it goes back to the article writing process with Amanda or the outsourced writer. Once it's passed, it'll be passed back to Amanda. I think it should be a different person, but yeah, passes back to Amanda and she will publish it. Again, this is not really a marketing process. This is a content creation process specifically for blog creation. Okay. This one's kind of interesting. Open image, a new tab. And I guess we'll use this as well, as in we'll just check this out. Okay, so this is a sales flowchart, not really a marketing flowchart. So campaign, goes to the lead gen, etc. Again, we're trying to make a marketing flowchart. So another thing with this one is the marketing plan process. So I'm actually not even sure where it starts. I believe it starts here. So develop a campaign goal objectives, analyze current effort, forecast effort to meet goal, define and analyze your target market, compare goal results to goal is realistic. No, look at another market. Okay, I mean, this part doesn't really make sense, but hey, it's 2004. Oh, it's 2004, it's really outdated. Yeah, so this is kind of a marketing process flow, but I feel it's a bit too vague. What does analyze? I mean, I can kind of understand what they mean, develop campaign goal and objectives, but because it's in 2004, it doesn't really take into mind the Google ads and Facebook ads right now. Yeah, Facebook was like just starting then. I'm not sure. I forgot the years Facebook founded, but whatever. I mean, it's a bit too vague. It's too general. You definitely if you really understand what's going on in your company, this is an okay marketing plan process. But if you just send this to someone, it's going to be incredibly vague for them. I mean, it's kind of weird that develop the marketing strategy is here. This should be like top level. But anyway, my point being, there are no process flows for marketing out there in my search for them, at least. Good ones at least. Probably they are, but maybe they are in private groups and all that. So this one, I was just checking some other stuff, like how many kind of flowcharts are there. So apparently there are 4 types, according to Creately.com. So there are document flowcharts, system flowcharts, data flowcharts, and program flowcharts. I'm not too strict on the definition of flowchart. To me is a flowchart, but if we were to follow this particular definition, we would be making a systems flowchart. Okay, with that said, let's quickly create a kind of flowchart, at least the one for today, because I really do believe there'll be multiple flowcharts that you have to follow for particular stages of the business. For example, actually, sorry if I'm changing tabs too fast. For example, this one. So this is a good example of a flowchart for content, for blog creation particularly. But you can actually break it down even further. So Shailin can have even one more flowchart within keyword research. So how do you start keyword research? Do you start with Googling? Do you start with using a software? Do you start with, I don't know, a website audit to see what they're already ranking, the websites are already ranking for? So within keyword research, we'll have its own process flow. Within topic research, we'll have its own process flow. And yeah, that's why I believe today we are making a process flow, but down the line we'll be creating more and more and more, because you want to make it so detailed, so finely. You want to refine it basically to a point that no one can get it wrong. If this is their particular, if they particularly focus on this one task, they need to be able to know how to perform within that task, basically. Okay, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So I think I'll just start with some text. So where is it? Oh, it's down here. So right now, I believe I mentioned it in previous videos, but I want to start with the most top level, or at least I believe this is the most top level that you should begin with. So kind of a top-down approach to marketing in process flows. So when you begin marketing, first thing there are 2 things you need to know. What is your product, and what is the customer persona, or who is the audience? Kind of the same thing. So product to the side, paste again, and customer persona, or just audience. Customer persona. So I was watching another video and got inspired by this. So instead of the product, it should be called the solution, because it can honestly be a product or service, or any other service. And customer persona is pretty much your, your audience, your customer. When I think about it, each should have its own particular way of process flow, but I want to start at this level, which is you either know the customer persona or you either know the solution. Let's change this up a bit. So I believe the more accurate term would be customer pain points, customer problem. So what are you trying to solve within the customer persona? Because certain people have certain problems, and certain solutions solve specific problems. So yeah, I guess the first what we need to do first is, let's see, you can either start here or here. So let's put a circle. Maybe drag this down a bit. Put some text. Start. Then we group these together. For some reason, the option is, oh, okay. Okay, so you can either start here or here. And then what I want to do is have a kind of dotted line. Oh, okay. Let's see. I believe this would do. Paste it below. I wonder if there's a way to quickly flip it. No, not that. I hardly use Canva, by the way, so please bear with me. Oh, and yeah, so this is a kind of over the shoulder where we just create, like we create it live, 180 degrees. Yeah. Actually, I feel it's better if we did it like this. Where it kind of meets in the middle. Yeah, something like this, although hopefully we can make something less ugly down the line. So yeah, you start with knowing either your solution or your customer persona. Let's take an example. What's a good example? I do not want to use Apple so often. But yeah, let's use computers as an example. Say computers for graphic designers. So in case you're not a graphic designer, you kind of need some heavy machinery most of the time. If you want to be a professional graphic designer, you have options of the Mac. I believe there are some Windows designer laptops. In fact, let's just quickly Google them. In fact, I can do it this way. Graphic designer laptops. So yeah, there is a specific market for graphic design laptops, and Apple kind of prides itself with being a design first laptop, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really an Apple product person. So let's say you have a let's say you're in the market for it. Gosh, I wish I could write it down. I kind of can. Let's just write in a notepad. Say your product, or should I say niche, is you sell graphic design laptops. So that is your product or service. But why do we put it under the umbrella of solution? Because this is a solution for graphic designers specifically, as the market is really wide for laptops in general. Okay, so that's just the niche of it. So what makes you unique? Or in this case, what makes your graphic design laptops unique? So instead of looking at specs, let's look at other attributes, because specs can always be improved over time. In fact, they are always improved over time. So, this graphic designer laptop, let me see, comes built with I forgot what you want to call it, drawing pad, peripheral, stored within. I don't think that it's an actual thing, but it's just a concept. So, graphic designers do not have to purchase and plug in a separate drawing pad. I do not know much about graphic designer problems, but this is an example again. Unique solution / selling point. So yeah, first you come up with your solution, product or service, and then you try and match it with the customer persona. Some people don't so this is, I kind of automatically did it where I have this in my example of my example graphic designer laptop. So it comes with a drawing pad within that it can be stored, like, I don't know, the disk drive. I wonder if that's still a thing, where you just click a button, then you can imagine the drawing pad just comes out and you can start drawing. I don't know if it's actually legit, but it's just an example. So I've kind of accidentally thought about the solution that I wanted to solve, which is graphic designers do not want to buy extra stuff and plug in extra stuff because then their table can get kind of messy. I'm not sure if that's an actual problem. But yeah, I've kind of solved the problem by creating this product in my head. So that's one way to do it, which is you start with the product and niche. You see what you're selling, which is in this case, a graphic designer laptop. And what's so unique about it? What solution does your particular product have? And who's it for? So this particular graphic designer laptop has a built-in drawing pad. Who in the world is it for? First, we know it's for graphic designers, but it's specifically for graphic designers that do not want to purchase or plug in a separate drawing pad. They just want everything all in one. So yeah, I've kind of accidentally created the customer persona, which matches already. So that's how businesses kind of start. Some people create the product and realize, like, I have this thing, but who is it for? That's where you have to figure it out. But usually when you're able to create the thing, you kind of have someone in mind already. On the flip side, you could start with hold on, this thing's like not centered. Okay. On the flip side, you could start with you could start with the customer's problem. I believe it was on Shark Tank. Was it Shark Tank or Dragon's Den? There's a very easy example, which was someone who was within the bricklaying career path. It's American or UK, I forgot. So basically, this entrepreneur, he's kind of elderly. He's in construction, I believe specifically bricklaying, and he had a problem where it gets really hard to lift up bricks, especially a lot one shot, because it can really throw your back if you're not really exercising your back muscles. But that wasn't a problem. It was basically over time, as you get older, bricklaying gets harder because your body just ages. So what he created was a very quick solution. I think it cost like 200 USD, something like that, where you can just, if I'm not mistaken, the product was you could lay the bricks down and then you can just lift it up with a kind of lever, and it's portable, so you can bring it to any kind of place with bricks, and you can just stack the bricks down, and then you can just pull it up and lifts it up for you. I don't think it was bricks anymore. I think it was wooden. I think it was wood, like timbers of wood. But that's beside the point. So the problem this guy saw was that people who were in the construction business, at a certain age, probably 40 and above, had problems lifting up stuff because it would throw their back if they were to lift up either many pieces of wood or many pieces of bricks. So what he had there was he knew what the customer problem was, because he was also within the industry. So he saw the customer problem and he built the solution, which was a device that can help you lift up these bricks or pieces of timber more easily. So that's starting with the customer problem and finding a solution for it. So yeah, hopefully you're able to imagine this, because I did not prepare any kind of visual aid. But that's kind of how marketing starts. You start with either a product ready or a problem ready, because if you're in marketing or you're really into starting new businesses or entrepreneurship, you'll realize most people have an idea. Most of the time, 99% of the time, the idea is anyone can can do it, but no one really does it. The issue is, but the main issue I want to kind of bring to light is that you kind of know the problem. Someone is having a problem out there. Maybe someone tends to find their cats stuck in trees. That's a potential problem. Everyone knows that cats occasionally get stuck in trees. So you already know the problem, but you don't have a product or service that can solve it. Maybe your solution is you have a service to rescue cats. Maybe you can create a product that somehow gets the cat off the tree for you, or prevents the cat from climbing trees, something like that. So first you have a problem, next you have to create a solution, either a service or a product. Or you have a product and service, then you have to find what kind of people have this specific problem that you can solve. Going back to the graphic designer laptops. So again, you have graphic designer laptops that so happen to have built-in drawing pads. So when you have those built-in drawing pads, it's like, okay, who's it for? I know it's specifically for graphic designers, but what kind of graphic designers? Graphic designers that need drawing pads and probably do not want the hassle of buying another drawing pad and kind of plugging it in to their laptop, because it kind of makes their table a mess. And lucky that you can't see my table because it's a mess, but that's besides the point. So again, this is the product, solution. This solution, then who's it for? Graphic designers who do not want to purchase and plug in a separate drawing pad. Simple enough. So then we can take this, paste it here, rotate it 90 degrees. Oof, okay. Somewhere here, drag it down. Then what you can do is create marketing plan. Yeah, so you have the product, you know who is it for. Time to create a marketing plan, because yes, you have the product, you know who is it for, but they don't know that you have that product. So you need to create a marketing plan. How do these people get to know about your product? How long have we been going for? I feel I've been chatting a storm. Wow, it's been 23 minutes. Okay, so let me try and see whether this diagram makes sense. And I think I just want to drag all of it down. This is a bit not centered. Again, this is really over the shoulder stuff. It's kind of a vlog and my thinking process. So yeah, just to review real quick, you can start in either A or B, which is you either have the product or service ready, or you know who is it for. Or you know there is a problem out there somewhere in the world that you can solve or are aware of. And then you can solve it by creating the product or service. But if you have the solution, you have to find the problem. So yeah, either you have the solution or you know the problem. And then you need to find the other. If you have the solution, you find the problem. You have the problem, you have to create the solution. God, I feel I'm repeating myself, but whatever. Then next thing you have to do is create the marketing plan, because okay, I know the solution, I know what problem it solves. Now, how do I make money? Or another way to think about it is, how do I find people with this specific problem to buy my specific product? Of course, easiest the easiest way of marketing is to tell them. You can just physically go up to them if you exactly know who they are and say like, hey, I know your problem, I can solve your solution. I can solve it with this solution, this particular product or service. But yes, every successful business has a solution and a specific problem that they are solving. I'm not going to go into the specifics of what kind of problems exist because that's a whole other thing. And then you can start creating a marketing plan. I actually thought this would be more robust, but again, this is kind of step one. The first process. Okay, maybe next week we can do the second process. Hold on, first process. Solution and problem. Problem and solution, I guess. Yes, so real quick, for this particular part, for the solutions, product and service, you can have another process flow for ideation, for the process of building that solution in the first place. That's kind of what manufacturers do. They have a kind of blueprint on, okay, we're building this, what do we need, how do we make it, etc, etc. And for the customer problem or customer persona, also has its process flow, which is how do you create a customer persona. Then when you combine the two, it's like, okay, I know who's it for, I have the thing, how do I market it, how do I advertise, how do I get the word out that I have the solution to these problems. Okay, I think I've honestly repeated myself 5 times at this point. I think that's it, because this video, I didn't think it would be 26 minutes right now. But before we end, I guess let's decide what's the next step. So create marketing plan. Creating a marketing plan. And within the marketing plan, it should have something like, let me think. It kind of depends on this, to be honest, because if you have a proper customer persona, then you know that you kind of know where the people you're trying to help are, either on Facebook groups, Clubhouse, the particular content that they consume, be it on YouTube or blogs. Then you can start creating a marketing plan around that. And yeah, so I guess I'll save it for that, because I'll save it for then, which is probably next week, because I am honestly rambling and it's about to be 30 minutes. So thanks for watching this far if you actually got to this point. And I do apologize because it seems very repetitive for something so simple. But yeah, that's kind of the over-the-shoulder approach, and kind of how my thought process goes when creating these kind of things. So I hope you are well, and I will see you next time. See ya.